The first part of today's session is actually going to introduce the basic concepts of AI. Okay. So that part is not hands-on. You can just listen to this. So the first part of today's session is actually taking an attempt to make you understand what is happening with the domain of AI and data science. Okay. So you're all actually familiar with this buzzwords like artificial intelligence, machine learning, neural network, deep neural networks, deep learning kind of stuff, right? And data science, data analytics, big data, all these things. Okay. But the major confusion we always face while getting into these domains are where should I start? Whether I should start from artificial intelligence or whether I should start from machine learning or what is data science, how it is connected with data analytics, all these stuffs, right? So the first attempt is to make you understand about how these things are actually defined, how they are connected, and how they are properly differentiated. Okay. So we can start with artificial intelligence itself. Okay. So whenever we are actually talking about artificial intelligence, we should mention about computing systems. Why? Because we always experience this artificial intelligence through computing devices, right? So what is a computer? Or what do you mean by a computing device? A machine which is capable of performing computing, right? And a formal definition of computer is like it is an electronic device, particularly a digital electronic device, which can handle data. And in what all means we can handle data, we can actually accept the data, we can store the data, we can process the data, we can retrieve the data as and when we need, right? And it is not a single device or a small set of device, starting from small nano computers that can implant in your teeth to the mainframe computers that spans across different floors of a building is actually coming under the family of computing devices. Okay. So in that perspective, the glucometer we are using in our home is actually a computer. The petrol vending machine we are seeing at a petrol bunk is a computer. Right, our smartwatch is a computer, our mobile phone is a computer. So all these things are actually coming under the family of computing devices, right? And what is the major properties of a computing device or devices within the computing family? So if you look into the intelligence of these devices, so the question is, are computers intelligent or dumb? Okay. Definitely the answer is computers are dumb devices because we need to instruct computers to make them enable with performing any task, right? So computers are dumb devices, but we are all very much dependent to computers, right? We are all actually using computers without any difference. Okay. Everywhere in our day-to-day life or every domain in our day-to-day life is actually demanding computing devices, right? Because we cannot think about a day without a computer. We cannot think about an educational system without computer. We cannot think about a hospital without computers. We cannot think about an industry without computers, right? So computers are very special to us, but still they are dumb. Okay. So what makes a computing device or what makes a computer very loving to us? Okay. So what is that? It is nothing but they are very special because of its its magical properties like what? The accuracy, the versatility, the precision, and the fastness, okay, the speed, all these things that makes a computer very special to us. But see, still they are having a very important drawback because they are dumb devices. Okay, so how can we make a computer intelligent? So before getting into the intelligence of computers, okay, can we just think about intelligence of a human? So anyone can tell me what is your idea about intelligence? I'm just asking about perceptions, not about the correct answers. What is your perception about intelligence of a human? How can we define intelligence? Anybody with with your
സർ പ്രായോഗികമായിട്ട് ചിന്തിച്ച് പ്രവർത്തിക്കാൻ കഴിവുള്ള ഒരു ഇന്റലിജൻസ്.
okay, the ability to do things in a practical way, right?
യെസ് സർ, യെസ്.
Okay, that is one point. Anything else? Any other perceptions regarding intelligence?
Understand the concept and apply wherever necessary.
Understand the concept and apply wherever necessary. Yeah. Again, anyone else? Any other point?
Ability to observe, learn, and like
Yeah, ability to observe, learn, and act. Okay. Again, some other perception is actually getting. Any more? Actually, from these definitions or from these perceptions, uh, we are actually touching at some points of the definition of human intelligence, but it is not fully defined or understood now. Okay. So to make you understand about intelligence, I should start from data. Okay. So what is data? Data is actually defined as a collection of raw facts. Okay, collection of raw facts. Suppose if I am trying to introduce myself to you, I can convey that idea through Shailesh, Kochi, Alapi, CUSAT, Sacred Hearts College, computer science, artificial intelligence, mathematics, classical dance. See, these are all things related to Shailesh, right? I'm conveying my profile to you. But are you able to connect with these things? Are you getting a proper context or meaning from this? No, right? You're getting something, but you're not getting anything proper, right? You're simply having some idea, but that idea is disconnected and not having any proper context or meaning, right? So that is what we are calling as data. It's a collection of raw facts, but particularly having no meaning or any context, and usually it is disconnected. Okay. So how can I define information? Information is the next level of data, that is the meaningful and the contextful data is actually called as information. Okay. The same thing I conveyed to you previously can be again conveyed like, my name is Shailesh. I am from Alapi. I'm currently living in Kochi and I'm working as a part of CUSAT, Computer Science Department. And I'm very much enthusiastic about artificial intelligence and I'm teaching mathematics too. And I'm a classical dancer. Now what happened? What is the difference you can observe? The things I have now conveyed is particularly having a meaning and a context, right? Particularly having a meaning and a context, right? And they are connected and properly giving ideas to the perceiver, right? So this is actually called as what? Information, right? And if I ask you to think about an elephant, right? You will get a lot of information in your mind, right? In a fraction of seconds itself, you are able to get all this information, right? Like it is the biggest animal in the land. It has two tusks. It is a black in color. It has a long tongue. Eat plants. How it is the keeper. And we can see elephants at festivals, right? It has big ears. A lot of things will comes in your mind. Okay. But the question is, are you getting or have you received or perceived this information regarding elephant from a single source at a single moment? Is that true? No, right? We have got this information from different sources, at different times, right? But still, what is the capability of your brain? Your brain is capable of simply retrieving or recollecting all this information in a fraction of seconds, right? How this is getting possible? How the brain is having this capability? It can be related with a very simple example. Is it easy to search a word from a book or a dictionary? What is your opinion? Is it easy to search a word from a dictionary or from a book? Which is more easier? And think about the reason for that easiness.
From a dictionary.
Particularly from a dictionary, right? And
Yeah.
what is the reason for that? It is very
It is
structured.
alphabetically arranged. Yeah.
Yeah, it is structured and organized well, right?
Organized in a manner.
Yeah. So to get the capability of recollecting or retrieving all the information we got from different places at different times, we have to arrange that information in a very connected manner and in an interconnected way, and it should be well structured and organized, right? That structured and organized form of networked information is actually called as our knowledge. Okay, that is what we are calling as knowledge. Since we are having that knowledge, we are able to recollect all these things very quickly, right? And we are having knowledge regarding different situations, different object, whatever it is, we possess a, a what a bunch of knowledge in our brain, right? And definitely, if I ask you, do you have knowledge regarding a traffic post? What will be your response? You are having a knowledge regarding traffic post, right? And what knowledge you have? A traffic post. The purpose of traffic post is to control the traffic. We can see this traffic post at the junctions and sides of the road, and we can actually see three different lights in it. The red light for stop, the yellow light for wait, and the green for go, right? We know all these things that I should say we are having the knowledge regarding a traffic post, right? But still, while driving a car, even after seeing a red light in a traffic post, you are simply feeling nothing and you are simply driving the car ahead. Okay. What will happen? What will be the situation then? What will be the situation then? You will be in a situation where you will met with an accident, right? A high chance of met with an accident. So can I say, is that because of lack of knowledge? Is that because of lack of knowledge? No, right? Particularly, it is not lack of knowledge. It is because of the lacking of our ability to apply that knowledge to solve a problem in a real situation, right? Okay. So that is what we are calling as intelligence. So intelligence of a person is actually nothing but it is his ability to apply his knowledge to solve a problem in a real situation. So this problem solving can be anything. It can be a decision making, it can be a creative process, it can be a optimization thing, it can be reasoning, whatever it is. To solve a problem, the knowledge need to be utilized, and that ability of applying knowledge to solve a problem is actually called as what? Intelligence of a human. So from this, can you tell me what are the components needed for possessing intelligence? What are the two essential factors we need to have to say we are having intelligence? With this definition, the two things.
Knowledge and the problem. Basically, you need to have one problem which you wanted to address, and knowledge,
The
your
knowledge
knowledge.
and the ability.
Okay.
Yeah, the knowledge and the ability, right? And as I said, If you have data, you can transform it into information, and then information can be made it into knowledge, right? So the atomic thing we always need to possess knowledge is what? The data. And how can we make a computing device able, right? How can we make a computing device able? We can make it able by using computer programs, right? And what is the soul of a computer program? It is nothing but the logic behind it, right? And how can we express the logic of a computer program? With the help of algorithms, right? So the two major things we always need to make a computing device intelligent is actually the data and the algorithms, right? So with that understanding, I can define artificial intelligence as it is a scientific domain that deals with making intelligence for system with the help of data and algorithms to enable them for decision making, optimization, and even content generation, right? So the purview of artificial intelligence is to make intelligence for systems with the help of data and algorithms. Okay. So the two major things we always need is the data and algorithms to enable them for decision making. What is the purpose of making a system intelligent, or what is the purpose of making artificial intelligence to a computing device? It is for decision making. The example of AI cameras in our roads, right? It is actually making decisions, right? Whether a person is wearing a helmet or not, whether a person is wearing a seat belt or not, like that. Okay. So the decision making and the optimization, we can see the application of AI in this Uber or in the Swiggy, Zomato applications as an optimization technique. And also the ChatGPT, Gemini kind of things are actually generating contents with artificial intelligence, right? So these are all the need of making a computing device intelligent, right? And finally, we can conclude this part by giving a tag, like we are trying to make a system think like a human by introducing artificial intelligence, right? But in our current situation or in our current technology space, it's not only decision making thing or decision making, we even have to do a lot of things other than that. That is, we have to perceive, we have to reason, we have to critique, we have to design, right? We have to do a lot of things by making a system intelligent nowadays. Okay. And if you look into the history of artificial intelligence, it is actually not a new thing. Okay. It is actually introduced in 1950s itself, particularly 1956, right? And after years and years, we can actually see the emergence of artificial intelligence to another level. But there was a period, that is the late 1960s to the beginning of 1980s. The period was actually called as AI winter. Okay, so nobody is actually hiring. Everything is put into what? A stagnant state, right? Nobody is actually doing research or something like that. Because the trust on this particular domain was gone, because it is not able to, or the artificial intelligence was not even able to solve simple mathematical problems we solve with a very less effort. Okay. So the people were thinking like it is not suitable uh, for leveraging it into the complex applications. Okay. But after years, what happened is the scientists were introduced with new technologies like support vector machine, multi-layer perceptron kind of algorithms, and it started regaining the importance. And after 2010, we can see that the domain of artificial intelligence was really getting a new phase. Okay. And people started talking about it. Everything become AI integrated and AI enabled, right? There was the age of modern artificial intelligence. Okay, after 2010 only we can say that we are at the age of modern artificial intelligence. And before 2010, we always call it as a traditional AI period. Okay, traditional AI period. Okay. So can you just imagine what was the reason for the stagnancy of this artificial intelligence? Why did it got that much importance only after this 2010, even if it is introduced in 1956? What was the reason, you think? What made that acceleration in the growth of artificial intelligence? Definitely the availability of hardware in the market with cheaper cost. Okay, that is one major thing. And the second thing is actually the availability of digital data. Okay, digital data. These two factors actually accelerated the growth of what? Artificial intelligence in the recent years. Okay. And when it comes to the classification of artificial intelligence based on its capabilities, it is actually classified into artificial narrow intelligence, artificial general intelligence, and artificial super intelligence. Okay. The narrow intelligence is actually defined as the systems which are capable of performing only one per specific task. Okay. The face recognition system, the next word prediction systems in our mobile, all these things are actually example of what? Artificial narrow intelligence. Okay. And when it comes to general intelligence, a single unit itself is capable of performing various tasks like human is actually called as artificial general intelligence. And the artificial super intelligence is actually the intelligent systems that surpasses the human ability. Okay, that surpasses the human ability. And fortunately, we are now experiencing the applications developed through narrow intelligence and general intelligence only. We have to wait another 100 or 200 years to realize the super intelligence models. And based on the different strategies and different types of data we are depending upon for making intelligence, we can see that artificial intelligence is again having a lot of subdomains like machine learning, speech processing, computer vision, natural language processing, expert systems, planning and optimization, and robotics kind of stuff. So everywhere we can see that we are trying to make an intelligence with traditional strategy or modern tools like AI or deep learning. Okay. Sorry, the machine learning or deep learning, right? So we are actually focusing on machine learning as a major technique because it always give robust and very efficient models. And the speech systems, the computer vision, the natural language processing, the expert systems, planning and optimization, robotics are the other subdomains. But I could say the subdomain machine learning is very much important, or I should say the machine learning is actually one of the dominating subdomain of artificial intelligence. Okay, dominating subdomain of artificial intelligence. Nowadays, this particular machine learning is somewhat equivalent to artificial intelligence. Okay. And within machine learning, again, we're having a bunch of family of algorithms based on the theoretical concepts in it, right? And one such family of algorithms which depicts the working of human nervous system is actually called as artificial neural networks. Okay, artificial neural networks. Okay, and these artificial neural networks are inspired from human nervous systems and brain, and mostly this artificial neural network can be configured in different manner. Okay, the network itself can be configured in different manner. And one particular configuration of artificial neural network is actually called as what? Deep neural networks. A special property than a simple machine learning. And if we are using this deep neural network for different AI needs, then it can be called as a deep learning technique. Okay, deep learning technique. Now I think you are able to understand that Venn diagram, right? So artificial intelligence is the major domain. Within that, there are so many intelligence making strategies are there. One particular strategy is actually called as what? Machine learning. And within machine learning, based on different theoretical aspects, we have different family of algorithms. One such family is actually called as artificial neural network, and a specific configuration of artificial neural network is actually called as what? The deep neural networks. And if you are utilizing deep neural networks for any AI task, it can be called as a deep learning technique. Okay. So hope you are able to connect these domains, right? Can you put a response on the chat window about your understanding? Okay. So don't get confused with artificial intelligence and deep learning techniques or machine learning techniques. So if I ask you one question, so to anyone, I should say, whom I should call. Okay, I will ask one question. Anybody can voluntarily answer. Can you tell me one technique in artificial intelligence which is not machine learning? One task in artificial intelligence which is not machine learning. Anybody?
Language conversion, text to speech ഒക്കെ.
Language conversion. And can you tell me in which subdomain it will come? You can see several subdomains here, right?
NLP, sir.
Yes, exactly. So you can say the spelling corrections, the grammar correction techniques in NLP can be explicitly created with some algorithms. There is no need of learning there, right? But the advantage is that if you are making an intelligent system through learning, that will be more robust than any other technique. That is why we are always saying that we club this machine learning with other domains. We club machine learning with speech, machine learning with computer vision, machine learning with NLP, right? And you can actually make any technique in these domains more robust and efficient by clubbing it with machine learning. Okay, hope you understood what is happening, right? So see, these are the computer vision techniques. Okay, these are all examples of computer vision. An expert system is nothing but what? A system that depicts like a human expert. The chatbots we are seeing in our bank websites will act like a bank employee, right? So that is an example of what? This expert systems. See, the robotics are nothing but see, particularly the sewing machine, The first one is actually what? A mechanical device. Then it become mechatronics. That is, we made this particular thing with electronics and mechanical parts. Then we introduced intelligence into it. Okay, that is the reason, plan, and act according to the program logic. Then it become what? Robotics, right? So the physical realization of AI is actually called as robotics. We can see a lot of robots like pancake maker, the factory robots, like kind of stuff, the humanoid robots like this, the vehicle robots like this, the biometric robots like this. Okay, so these things are actually examples of what? Robots. Okay, and again, the another subdomain is natural language processing, which uses techniques to make a machine communicate in human language. So the machine translation, information retrieval, sentiment analysis, everything can be called as what? An application of machine learning. The Grammarly, the Google Translate, the automatic sentiment analysis tools in Flipkart, all these things are actually the applications of what? Natural language processing. Okay. And whenever we are talking about artificial intelligence, there is a need of mentioning about data science. Okay. So what is that? What is the need of uh, mentioning data science in connection with artificial intelligence? Okay. So to understand that part, you need to understand what is data science first. Okay. So data science, as the name suggests, it's a science that deals with data. Okay, starting from generating the data, collecting the data, gathering the data, acquisition of data, monitoring the data, uh, keeping the data, wrangling the data, cleaning the data, transforming the data, analyzing the data, modeling the data, mining the data, visualization of data. Like this, there's a big pipeline of processes. Okay, there's a big pipeline of processes happening in the entire field of data science. Okay. And particularly, we divide this data science into three major categories. Okay, data science pipeline into three major categories. So before that, I just want to convey you some ideas why data is important. Because we are all knowing that the application called uh, Instagram or Facebook or WhatsApp is actually from Meta, right? And we know we are not paying any money for using this Meta application. So, what is the business model they have and how they are actually making this much huge amount of money? Okay, that is because of the ads, right? And how these ads are actually getting worked. See, suppose you search something on this Flipkart or Amazon, immediately that product will get uh, advertised on the Instagram wall of you, okay, or in the the sites of the Facebook page. Everywhere you can see that that product is actually getting advertised, right? How this Meta knows you have searched something in Amazon or Flipkart? There is the business happening. That is, we are all actually using the same email ID and phone number across all these platforms, right? So whenever you search something, whenever you logging into Flipkart or Amazon, every time they were actually tracking this data, okay, and pushing into the servers of Meta by tagging the data with your email ID and phone number. So what Meta will do? Meta will analyze the data and find out what product you are interested with. What is your weaknesses? How can you make vulnerable to different marketing people? So all these things they will find out and simply push this particular thing into your social media handles. And how they can actually find out the social media handles? Because you already have given your email ID and phone number to them, right? So it is very easy to find your Instagram account and push this kind of advertisements into it. Okay. So how the Meta will benefit that from this? Because Meta will not do these advertisements or uh, anything for this Amazon or Flipkart kind of application. So these applications will pay a huge amount to this Meta, and Meta will generate revenue from these websites. And how many kind of these websites are there? There are a lot of e-commerce applications exist. All these things, all these companies are actually doing the same business. So do you think Meta needs an extra effort to make money for this? There is no need. Okay. And the second example I can give you is the Google Maps you are using, right? In Google Maps, you can see a location indication like this red, green, red, blue, yellow, or something, right? And that red indicates high traffic. And do you ever know the Google is having a system to monitor the each and every corner of the world for traffic? Is it possible? Is it possible? No, right? So how Google knows where is the high traffic area? Because it is happening with a simple logic. They are simply using the density of Android mobile phones using in a particular area. Okay, so particular area, right? And what that indicates, the density of Android mobile phones indicate the density of people in that area, right? And all these people are there in the road, then it is actually showing what the presence of a traffic, okay, or the congestion. That is what we are seeing as this red or blue or yellow indication, right? But the question is, are you giving permission to this operating system or the Google to track your locations each and every time? We are not explicitly giving, right? But the operating system within the Android mobile phones itself is what made by Google. Okay. So do they really need your permission to track your data? Actually, no. The operating system can easily get all this data very quickly. Okay. So there also they are making money out of our private or the privacy data. Okay. And the third example is again a very crucial one. It may make a heartbreak for you. Okay. So can you just think about the applications like the Google Amazon Alexa or Google Assist kind of thing? How can you use that? Or if you want to know the weather condition of today, how will you instruct this Google Assist? Can anyone tell me if you want to know about the weather condition of today at Kochi? How will you ask this to Google Assist? What is the instruction we have to say? Nobody, please respond. What is the instruction we have to give to Google Assist?
Hi Google, then
Yeah,
statement.
yeah. Hey Google or okay Google, what is the weather today, right? So can you just think about the functioning of this particular device? If the device need to listen to your call, what about the device ears? That ears are always open to your conversations, right? Okay, it is always open to your conversation. The current statement is hey Google or okay Google, it should respond like this. Otherwise, what should I do? You have the system need to transcribe all these things into natural language and sending it to the servers. Okay, sending it to the servers. Okay, and that data collected through this process is actually utilized for different personalized advertisements and recommendation system. Okay, so see, not only Google or Meta or Microsoft, all the companies in our current technology landscape is actually using data for their business. Okay, data for their business. Okay, hope you are able to understand why data is actually important, right? I have explained the situations to make you understand why data is important. Okay, and apart from this, there are a lot of other reasons why data is important. The first one is it will help us to make informed decisions. It will help us to get the results we want. It will try to find solution to problem. It will back up your arguments. It will help us to be strategic in your approaches. It will keep track of all these things. So we should say the data industry is actually going to replace the oil industry. So data is our new oil, and that new oil is our future. So data will be the future. Okay. Now the reality of data is that, see, we are actually having a lot of data, but what is happening? We are starving for insights. Okay, we are starving for insights. So what is the solution for that? That solution is particularly called as data science. Okay. So as per the uh, definition of data science, I said there are a lot of phases we need to understand in data science, right? So starting from the acquisition of data till the visualization of data, people are actually uh, going through different phases. Okay. But for the easiness, we divide the entire pipeline into three major stages. The first one is called as data engineering. The second one is called as data analytics, and the third one is called as data visualization. Okay. So in data engineering, we are making a data compactable for analytics, right? And at analytics only, we are trying different uh, insights. We are actually trying to find different insights from the data, right? And we use different techniques within analytics. Okay. So that is the second phase, data analytics. And the third one is the data visualization, where we need to communicate the insights we got from different analytics to the end users, right? There we can actually use different what graph plotting mechanisms or visualization tools for making it more convenient. Okay, right? So even though we are having all these stages in data science, one of the major stages actually this data science, data analytics itself. Okay, why it is important in data analytics only? We are actually we are coming up with the useful insights. Okay, and if you more deeply looking into the data analytics, there are four different types. The first one is descriptive, the second one is diagnostic, the third one is predictive, and the fourth one is prescriptive. Okay. So starting from descriptive analytics, they are using the same tools like Excel, SPSS, SAS kind of things. Okay. And when it, that is, we are actually trying to focus on answering what happened. Okay, what happened. And in the second case, we are trying to find out why did it happen. That is, we are calling it as diagnostic analytics. Then the third phase only, we are trying to find out what might happen in the future. Okay, what might happen in the future. And the prescriptive analytics is actually used to make recommendations out of the predicted results. Okay, fine. The fact we have to keep in mind here is starting from descriptive, moving to prescriptive, the usage of AI become more inevitable when it comes to predictive and prescriptive analytics. That is why we are able to see that intersection between that AI techniques and data. Okay. So to perform predictive analytics and prescriptive analytics well, we have to use, or we have to utilize the techniques from machine learning and another related artificial intelligence algorithm. Okay. So that is why we are always saying this data science and artificial intelligence is actually moving in a very synergized way. Okay. So hope you understood what is happening in data science, and data analytics is actually only a stage in data science. It is not a major. Okay. So are you able to connect it now properly? All these things, right? Is there any doubts or any uh, thing I need to stress or make you more understandable? Is there anything?
So the machine learning and deep learning, can you explain once again?
Yeah.
Is
In
it a,
machine learning, in machine learning, there are different family of algorithms based on different theoretical foundations. Okay. We have machine learning techniques with statistical theories. We have machine learning techniques with linear algebra. We have machine learning techniques with probability. A lot of theoretical foundations can be leveraged for building machine learning algorithms. And particularly one such algorithms which uses the biological process happening within a human, okay, is actually called as what? Artificial neural network. It is inferred from human nervous system. Okay. And if you are using that particular technique for building AI models, then it can be called as artificial neural networks. And a specific way of building artificial neural networks become more deeper, then it become what? Deep neural networks. And if you are doing any task with deep neural network, it can be called as deep learning.
sir, that 3 layers of neural networks, no? So if it
Yeah.
is going deeper and deeper, then it becomes a deep learning
Yes.
in the second layer, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, thank
We
you.
will be discussing more on that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Any other confusions?
Just to clear my point,
Yeah.
big data is more about storing the data.
No,
Data.
I'm
Okay.
actually going to explain that part.
Okay. Then sorry.
Yeah. So after I hope everyone is clear with data science, data analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all, right? Can I move? Yes. No problem with others, I think. Okay. So the third and the major one we always experience when it comes to the industrial use cases is actually the big data. So when you listen to the word big data, we always think that it is all about the largeness of the data, right? Okay. Is big data equal to large data? It is particularly not true. Big data can be large data, but the other properties also can make a data big. Okay. So what are the other properties? Usually we define the properties of big data with different V's. Okay. And here I am explaining 4 V's, but there are 5 V's, 6 V's, 7 V's, even 11 V's are there. Okay. But the 4 important V's are volume, velocity, variety, and veracity. So the first one is actually the volume that deals with the storage. Okay. See, to understand that part, if you consider an airline industry, okay, if you consider one flight from a single aeroplane or a single flight from a single engine, it will be around 20 terabyte of data will be generated in a single hour. Okay. So if you're having a twin engine flight, it will be 20 into 2, that is 40 terabytes. And if you consider the average time for flying as 6 hours, it will be around 20 into 2 into 6. And there are around 28,537 international flights in this industry. So for one day, it is 20 into 2 into 6 into 2,000, 28,537. And if you consider it for 1 year, it will be around 24,2499841,200 terabyte of data, right? And what is the capacity of your RAM? It is around 8 GB or 16 GB, right? So how can I accommodate this much huge amount of data into a computing system and do computations? So that is a challenge, right? So that is the importance of volume. So volume become a challenge and it makes the data big if the volume is big. Okay. And the second property is actually the velocity. So there is no constraint that the volume is high here. The varying property is actually something else. Okay. So what do you mean by velocity? Velocity is actually nothing but the amount of data receiving in a particular computing infrastructure. And if the velocity increases, the traditional computing system will struggles to perform it, right? So there we can apply techniques from big data for solving what? The high velocity data. And the variety also, see, even in our current scenario, Rio, each kind of data need to be handled with different softwares, right? Why? We have an application for listening music. We have one application for doing presentation. We have one application for building lights, right? So different kind of applications are used for different type of data, right? But when it comes to big data, the variety of data, it can be image, text, uh, or sounds, anything. It can be anything, right? So the data become more complex by keeping more variety on it, right? So that data is also having high difficulty to get processed, right? So there also we have solutions in big data for handling such kind of varying type of data included in your data source. And finally, the veracity, that is the truthness. Okay. The truthness or the ambiguity or stability of the data and the other property. Okay, data related property. And this particular property is actually used by different research organizations for handling it in a better way, right? So there is no need of data become large to make it big. The properties like velocity of data, volume of data, variety of data, and veracity of data will make a data as a big data for building the future needs. Okay. So hope you understood what is the aspect of big data, right? Is that fine? Gaurav?
Yes, actually now much clear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So here also we use the techniques from the normal data science and artificial intelligence at different stages of big data processing. Okay. So this is the introduction I want to give you about the AI, ML, the data science and the big data kind of technologies, because these are the most confusing areas, and this should be properly understood before starting the business, uh, before starting the any courses regarding this. Okay, so you will get a clear picture. Where should I concentrate? Should I concentrate on AI or data science more, or statistics, or an application developer? Okay, that's it. So hope you understood what is these things and how the things are defined and getting connected, right? Any questions? Any questions? Okay. So can we move to the practical part then? Why people are not actually responding? Yeah. So I hope everyone is ready with the laptops and the day two resources, right? The PDF of the slide I have used here is actually already shared with you. Now you have one Python notebook created for this Numpy experiments. Okay. So can someone load the data and share your screen? Sorry, not data. Someone load that notebook and share your screen. Please, anyone? Okay. Okay, Abba. So have you seen that repo? Did you get the day two resources in your PC? Yeah, fine. Now you can actually upload that NumPy learning IPYNB to Google Colab. Upload notebook. Okay. So all of you need to do the same thing. You have to upload this particular file into Google Colab after getting all the resources from the. Okay, right, everyone? Means I need more responses because we are actually having 31 people in the workshop. Everyone, please send your response. Okay. So almost everyone is there, right? Okay. So hope you're all having a basic understanding of Python programming. Okay. That was the prerequisite. And I have shared one Python notebook with you to brush up that. Hope that was also tried from your side. Okay. The concepts are now clear, I think. Okay. So if I ask some questions, can anyone answer me from your understanding? What are the type of what are the provisions available in Python to keep collection of data? What are the
Sir,
available? Yes.
so we can store data in format of list, dictionary, and also in tuples.
Okay. So we can keep the collection of data within list, dictionary, tuple, as well as one more thing is set. Okay. And these things are actually called as what? What is this called? Things are called data structures,
Containers.
containers. Okay. Containers are the correct term. Okay. Containers. Fine. So the
CSV file,
containers in
CSV file is a part of it.
what is that? Can you make it louder?
CSV file, comma separated value file. No, is
CSV
it
files are not a
part
part
of?
of containers.
Okay.
The containers are inbuilt functionalities of Python to keep a collection of data. Okay. So the list, set, dictionary, tuple are the major provisions, right? And when it comes to multidimensional data, we can make use of this list of list kind of things. But one of the major limitation is that the manipulation of this data become difficult. Okay, the manipulation of this data become difficult if you keep that multidimensional data in as list, nested list or something like that. Okay, to support such kind of operations and such kind of requirements, we have a very important package in Python which is called as Numpy. Okay, and it is also called as numerical Python. It's a core library for scientific computing in Python. It provides a powerful n-dimensional array object and tools for working with this array. Okay, so whenever you need to think like you have to keep an n-dimensional array. Okay, n-dimensional array, then we have to use what NumPy as a efficient tool. And there are a lot of advantages for using NumPy because it can be parallelized, it can be easily converted into other forms. Okay, so a lot of advantages are there with what NumPy. Okay, so the theories are actually explained here. Okay, the topics here we are going to discuss is array creation, indexing, slicing, maths and statistics operation, reshaping and broadcasting. A lot of things are there. And in between, there are some practice questions, bug fixing and output prediction to check yourself for your understanding about the concepts. Okay, fine. Okay. So moving down, the first thing, how can we use Numpy? Okay, to use Numpy, I need to first import Numpy, and we have to use the Numpy, the keyword Numpy along with every operations, and to give an alias, because using Numpy every time is a difficult thing, right? So to give an alias, we are using that as. So import Numpy as NP means we are importing Numpy and we are putting an alias for it. Alias is actually another name for it as NP. So whenever you need to refer Numpy, you can use the what NP as an alias. Okay. So there you can see import Numpy as NP and Numpy version. To get the version, NP dot underscore underscore version underscore underscore. And finally, it is printing Numpy is ready. Okay. Can you just execute, Amrita? See why we need to wait it, because that notebook was not connected with any cloudless. Now it is connected. The Numpy version is 2.0.2. Okay. So can we move to the first part? Down. Yeah. Module 1, array creation and basics. Okay. So what is a Numpy array? As I said, a Numpy array is and Numpy ND array is a grid of values, all the same type, indexed by a tuple of non-negative integers. Okay. So whenever we need to manipulate a list of values, you can use this Numpy arrays for storing and manipulating it instead of Python list. Okay. So the key vocabularies we need to keep in mind while dealing with Numpy arrays: ndim, that is the dimension. Okay. Shape will also give you the idea about dimension. D type, that is the data type, and size is the size of the data structure we are actually getting used. Okay. Now the first block is actually introducing how to create a Numpy array from an existing list and printing its property. Okay. So here you can see that A equal to NP dot array of an existing list. So the list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is actually converting into a Numpy array, and that is stored in the variable A. So on printing the A, you can see that Numpy array itself. On the second row, you can see the dimension. On third row, you can see the shape. And on the fourth row, you can see the data type. Okay. Can you just execute that? See, we can see the output. Anybody is having any confusions?
സർ അപ്പൊ ഈ ഡാറ്റ സ്റ്റോർ ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഏത് ഫോർമാറ്റിലായിരിക്കും ബാക്കെൻഡിൽ?
Numpy, because the Numpy array itself is actually a data structure.
ഓക്കെ.
Within that, it is a kind of linked list is actually maintained. Format എന്ന് ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചത് തന്നെയല്ലേ?
എങ്ങനെയായിരിക്കും നമ്മൾ അറേ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ഇതുണ്ടാവുമല്ലോ, അതേപോലെ മെമ്മറിയിൽ എങ്ങനെയായിരിക്കും സ്റ്റോർ ചെയ്യുക?
മെമ്മറിയിൽ it is actually keeping it as a linked list.
ഓക്കെ സർ.
Yeah. Ordinary linked list അല്ല, ഒരു variety of linked list ആണത്. Okay. Yes. And if you want to create a two-dimensional object, see the same example with a list of lists, but it is converted into an Numpy array. There you can see that the endim is equal to 2. Shape is 2, 3. That is 2 rows and 3 columns. And the size is 6. Can you run that part? Yeah. Hope it is clear for you, right? Okay. Again, to create a special arrays, suppose if you want to create a numpy array with all entries as 0, numpy array with all entries as 1, numpy array with all entries other than the diagonal as 0 and the diagonals as 1, that is identity matrix, you can use the function zeros, ones, and I. See, just observe the output. You are getting, see, np dot zeros of 2, 3. That is 2 rows and 3 columns all filled with 0. Right? 3 rows and 3 columns all will fill with 1. And np dot I of 4, that is an identity matrix is always a square matrix, right? So we have to create a 4 by 4 matrix and the diagonal entries should be 1, all other entries should be 0. Okay. I think there is no confusions in it, right? Next block. Again, the arange function. Arange function is actually a function in Numpy to create a sequence of values and that should be kept as Numpy array itself. Okay, so np dot arange of 0 to 10 means it will generate elements from 0 to 10 minus 1. Okay, 0 to 9. And after 0, it will get skipped to 2. Then it again from 2 it skipped to 4. Likewise, the output array will be, the output number array will be 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. And the line space is nothing but if you give a range 0 to 1, it will be split into the 5 part. Right? 5 parts. And the full is again 2, 7, full with 7. Okay. Can you see that output? Okay. Right? Now, the next part is a practice question. So, try to write your code according to the task. So, don't cheat yourself. Try to do it by your own. Don't look into ChatGPT or anything. Try to do it by your own. And please let me know whether you are getting a proper answer or not.
സർ ഈ ബ്ലോക്കിൽ തന്നെ ചെയ്യാമോ?
ആ ബ്ലോക്കിൽ തന്നെ അത് ഡിലീറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ചെയ്യാം. Task 1 is equal to you can remove that part. Yeah. Everybody try it out. This is an activity to get assurance about your understanding and the things are clear to you. If anyone is having, so please execute it and look into the answer and check whether it is correct as that of expected. See, there is one error. So, can anyone suggest to Amritavashini what is the error she is encountering?
Two things. One is comma is missing after every value, and it should be all the values should be kept in bracket, array bracket.
Are you getting it? You have to keep 1 to 10 within a square bracket as a list. Then that list need to be passed into array. You have to put a comma after every element.
Every value.
Is anyone else doing it in another way?
Sir, can you do it with the np.arange of 1 comma 11?
Exactly. Yes, exactly. We can do that with np.arange2. That is the
Bracket
simplest way.
1 comma 11 with
Yeah.
lower limit and upper limit.
Vaishnavi, sorry, Amrita, you can actually comment that line, that is task 1 is equal to put the comment hash at the front. Okay. Then on the next line, you can write task 1 is equal to before that print. Yeah. There, task 1. See the variable name is capital or small. Again, the variable is task1. If you put like that, again it will make error. Yeah, task1 is equal to what should be the function? Arrange np dot arrange of within bracket arrange of what should be the arguments? Please, someone else.
1 comma 11 because upper limit should not be included. No.
Yeah, 1 comma 11. Yeah. And if you print that too, you can see the output, right? Amrita, is that clear for you?
Yes, sir, yes.
Yes. So, Sharon, Shabu, can you just share your screen? Amrita, you can actually stop sharing. Okay, can you attempt that second question? Please run the other things, then move to the second question. Start executing from the beginning. Can you make it as full screen? Yeah. Start executing from the beginning. Yeah. Can you just, you'll get an error because NP is not defined anywhere, right? Just go to the beginning. There you can see import NP as NP and execute that. Okay, fine. Can you attempt the second question? Yeah, the second question is also correct. See, np dot zeros of 3 comma 3. Then she have created a 3 by 3 square matrix. Okay. The third task.
When I press the 3 comma 3, it's coming as data type 3 is not interpreted. What may be the reason, sir?
Can you repeat that, ma'am, again?
That 3 comma 3, no, that type error is coming as cannot interpret 3 as a data type.
Yeah. Can you put, did you put that 3 comma 3 within a bracket?
Yeah, within bracket.
No,
np dot zeros bracket 3 comma 3.
no, bracket 3 comma 3 means you are passing 3 comma 3, two arguments.
Oh,
Okay. But the first argument is the shape, second argument is the data type.
okay,
So
sir.
you are specifying first argument as 3, the second argument as the data type as also 3. But what you have to do is the first argument itself is a shape, right? 3 comma 3.
Okay,
That should be specified as a tuple.
okay, sir.
So you have to put an extra bracket to make 3 comma 3 as a tuple.
Tuple. Okay, okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Right? Hope you got it, right? The next task, create an array of 6 evenly spaced value between 0 to 100. So task 3 is equal to np dot a range of 0, 0.0, 11. Yeah. Yeah. 6 evenly spaced in the sense each interval should be of 20. Okay. Yes. Okay. What is the next task in that? The output prediction. Bug fix. See, the code below has 2 bugs. Find and fix them. What is the bug there? Okay, if you execute that, you can see 2 bugs. What is the bug there? Can anyone tell what is the fix we have to do?
We just need four,
Yeah, we
right?
just
One
need
four. One
4
four.
because yeah, identity matrix is always square. So there is no need of specifying both rows and column. Only need to specify the number of rows or number of columns. So only 4 is enough. And the second one is shape is actually a property. It is not a function. So there is no need of what? Round brackets there.
You have to remove that prefix, no, sir?
You have to remove that 2 round brackets
Round
after the
bracket.
shape. Okay. Okay. Hope this activities help you to clear the concepts in a proper way, right? Okay, so we can move to the second part. Yeah. So indexing. Indexing is the provision to get an element from a NumPy array. Okay. So if there is only one dimension, you can simply use index starting from 0 for first element, 1 for the second element, 3 for the fourth element, like that. Okay. And if you are creating a two-dimensional array, then we have to use two values to represent column as well as the row. The first value is representing the row, the second value is representing the column. Okay. And it supports negative index too. Negative index is nothing but if you don't know how many rows are there, but if you want to access the last row, then you can use -1 to represent the last row. Okay. Last row. Okay. So that is why there in the example, you can see that array of 1, 2 is 60. That is first row, second column. First row, second column. That means the second row, third column. The value 60, right? And what is -1, 0? What is -1, 0? The last row, first element. What is the last row? 70, 80, 90. And the first element is 70. Clear? Is it clear? And the next operation is slicing. Slicing is actually a provision to get a part of the existing NumPy array. And see, the general syntax for slicing, 1D arrays, start index, stop index, then steps. Okay. Start index, stop index, then step. And you can use the same thing for two-dimensional array, for rows as well as columns. Okay. So these are the things. And again, the Boolean masking is also there. Okay. So if A greater than 5, then all elements greater than 5 will be retrieved. Okay. So now we can try out the code. Okay. See, we have an array, 3 by 3 array, and its name is 3. Next block. Its name is 3. So on printing, you can see the entire elements. Okay. Right. Now, on the next block, we have to access the second element in the first row. Second element in the first row, right? Sorry, second index. That is the third element in the first row. So what is the output? 30. Third element in the first row. Okay. And for slicing, this m of -1 comma colon. What is that? -1 comma colon. You have to get the last row, that is -1. And simple a colon means from the beginning to the end. So for the last row, you have to take the elements from the beginning to the end. So what is that? 70, 80, 90 is the last one. Okay. And the next is what? M of colon comma 0. What is that? You have to take all the rows, but the first elements. So all the rows. That means 10, 47, and the first element need to be taken. That is what? 0. So the list is, so the number is 10, 40, 70, and 0 colon 2, 1 colon 3. What does that mean? From starting row to row before 2. Okay. And columns from 1 to column before 3. Okay. So on executing, you can see the output. That's fine. There we are applying an operation M, where M greater than 45. So you will get all elements within M, which is having a value greater than 45. Okay. And the next practice problem is what? What is the output for this? Just think about that outputs and try to execute and observe it. I am not going to ask you the output of each and every one. You just ensure it is properly running. 2:7. What is that? 2:7. 2:7. Starting from the second index till the sixth index. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Then x of : 3. What does that mean? : 3. : 3. Starting from the beginning till the end, 3 index need to be jumped. So we will start from 0. Then after 3 index 3, after 3 index 6, after 3 index 9. So hope you're able to understand it, right? On the next block, try to execute that and
Actually, I didn't understand the second one, like this one. Could you
3.
please? Yeah. Could you explain that?
Yeah, : 3. The general syntax is starting index : ending index : step. Okay, that is the general syntax. There, the starting index is not specified. The ending index is not specified. That means we have to take the elements from the very beginning to the very last. Okay. And 3 is actually called as step. 3 is actually called as step. So since we are starting from the very beginning, what is the very beginning index? 0, right?
Yeah, got it.
0 plus 3. That is the second one, 3. 3 plus 3 is the next one, 6. 6 plus 3 is the 9, is the next one. Okay. Is that clear?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, can you move to the next block? Amruta, can you? Yeah, the last thing, we are starting from the beginning to the end, but it is starting from -1, right? So 0 minus 1 will move to the 9. 9 minus 1 move to the 8. -1 move to the 7. Likewise, we are getting the elements in the reverse order. Okay. Okay. There also, you can predict it. 1 colon, 1 comma colon. What does that mean? 1 comma colon. We have to first row, take all elements in that. 1. Try to execute it, Amrita first. Then relate your answers with it. Execute that part. Yeah. 1 comma colon. 1 is the second row. Colon means you have to take all the elements. So 4, 6, 5. 4, 5, 6. Colon comma 2, you have to take all the rows, but elements in the second column. What is that? 3, 6, 9. Colon 2. That means we have to take the rows from end, beginning to end, columns from beginning to end, and skip with 2 values. So after taking 0, it will be go to the third element. Okay. So 1, 3, 7, 9. Hope this is clear, right? Okay. Now can you move to the practice part? Yeah. So extract the value 55 from the matrix. What is the answer? 55. What should I write on that code? Val is equal to what should be the code I should write? Can anyone help Amrita to complete it? Val is equal to, I have to take 55. 55 is on the 0, 1, 2, second row,
Two.
second row,
Second column.
second column. Yeah. So data within square bracket, you have to specify 2, 2. Okay. So on executing. Right. Okay. Now can you try the second and third one? Extract the entire third column. Data of third column, entire third column. So we have to take all the rows, right? So colon, comma, 3. Colon, comma, 3. Third row will be, so third column will be index what? So
Two.
third 2. First column is 0, right? Okay, left. Okay. So the next task. Extract the bottom right 2 by 2 matrix. Bottom right 2 by 2 matrix. Bottom right 2 by 2 matrix. The expected output is 5, 5, 60, 75, 80. You have to start taking from which row? Start taking from
Two.
third row, right? Third row
Yes.
third row is
Number
2.
two.
2
Yeah.
colon, comma, 2 colon, comma. Then you have to take the third column 2, right? So 2 column. Okay. Then starting from the second row till the end, second column till the end. So the output will be 55, 60, 75, 80. Hope it is clear for you, right? Okay. Yeah. Now, again, the last one is use Boolean masking to get all values greater than 50. What is that? Filtered equal to data within square. Can you just move up? down, 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 down. Yeah. Likewise, how do you do this? Can you move down a bit?
This is the one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Data of data greater than 50. Okay. Yeah. Hope everyone can see the outputs, right? Properly. Now moving into the next part. The next part is quite simple. How can we use different mathematical and statistical functions on Numpy arrays? Can you just try that by yourself? That is the theory. On the next part, you can see the codes. Move down, please. Yeah, try yourself. The arrays are of same dimension 1, 4, 9, 60, 25, 2, 2, 4, 3, 4, 5. Then addition, multiplication, subtraction, division, power, right? All these things are happening with the corresponding elements. Hope there is no confusion in it, right? Okay. And you can see the statistical functions like mean. Okay. The axis is equal to 0 means you have to find the mean per column. Axis equal to 1 means you have to find mean per rows. Then maximum value, standard deviation, all these things are there. Okay. And do the practice question as a homework. Skip that. And move to the last part. That is reshaping and broadcasting. Reshaping is nothing but, see, suppose you are having a 3 by 3 matrix or 3 by 4 matrix. 3 by 4 matrix, how many elements will be there? 3 by 4 matrix. 3 by 4.
12.
12.
എനിക്ക് മറ്റേ നമ്പർ 0 മുതൽ 3 വരെ അല്ല അല്ലേ?
The shape is 3 by 4. Then how many elements will be there? 12 elements, right?
12.
That 12 can be again arranged in 4 by 3 or 6 by 2 or 2 by 6, right? That is actually called as reshaping. Okay. That ravel and flatten functions are used to make any dimension into a single dimension array. Any dimension into a single dimension array. Okay. Then you can use a reshape function, or you can assign the new shape to any numpy array. Okay, can you move down? Okay, see that examples. np.a range of 1, 13. That the elements will be generated from 1 to 12. Its original shape is what? 12 comma, right? Only single row. Then we are reshaping it into 3, 4. Right? 3, 4. So then what will be the shape? 3, 4. It becomes 3 rows and 4 columns arranged in that particular way, right? then reshape into 2, 1. What is happening? 2, 1. It will convert everything into 2 rows. And to not specify number of columns, we are specifying -1. So if 12 is made into 2 rows, how many columns will be there? 6 columns will be there. Okay. And by applying the flatten function, you will get the entire array as a single dimensional array. Okay.
Yeah. So can you please explain the 2 comma -1?
See, suppose you have an array, okay, and you don't know how many elements are there in it, okay, but anyway you have to convert it into 2 rows. Then how will you specify it? We know how many rows, but we don't know how many columns, right? At that unknown case, you can specify the column as -1.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is actually the broadcasting. That is, you can apply the addition, multiplication kind of things. And that operation is actually called as broadcast. Okay. Then you can do this practice things as homework. And the last block is specifying. This is also a challenge. All together the concepts you have learned. Okay. So try to complete it too. And after that, you have one more exercise. If you have NumPy arrays, how can you store it as files? Okay. So in this example, you have 2 NumPy arrays. See, one dimensional array and the 2-dimensional array. So to save the array independently, you can save it as myArray.npy. Can you just execute that part? That function, that block. Yeah, that also. You can see that. And can you just open that session memory, our session memory? On the left side, you can see a folder button, right? Folder. Down, second last one. So you cannot see anything there, right? But after executing the next block, so you can just execute the next block. Can you just refresh that part? See, your data will be stored as an NPY array. Okay. Right? And from there, you can again load back that. And also, if you have multiple array, need to be stored as a single entity, then it is not MPY, it is NPZ. NPZ is NumPy zip. Okay, NumPy zip. And again, you can use the load function to load back and use the array names to get it independently and print the details. Okay. So, hope the NumPy is clear for you. Everyone, I request you to go through this notebook one more time, make every function familiar to you, and do the rest of the exercise as homeworks. In between any confusions or anything you need an assistance, please feel free to contact me. Okay. And is there any doubts? Is there any doubts?